Welcome back to Generally Divided, a YouTube show that pits Generation X versus Generation Z in a no holds barred match to the death on pop culture. No, on any sort of wide variety of topics we chat about, and we get to the nit and gritty of things sometimes. And most of the time, we just talk about things on a surface level because, we don't want to bore you that much with our philosophy on life. Or do we? That's a good question. What do you think? Should we bore them?
Yeah, I like boring people.
Well, you're here and we're glad that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. We appreciate that very much. Once again, we're Generally Divided. I am Danny and this is Marco, Gen Z guy. And we're here to talk today about
The Batman, the newest edition.
Batman. Not Batman, not Batman Forever, not Batman and Robin, not The Dark Knight. No, it's
The Batman.
Which is interesting. And I'll get into a reason why I think that's interesting in a little bit. But give me your first impression. I know, okay, let me start out by saying this. It's been out for a while in theaters. It finally got released on HBO Max and on digital streaming and digital at home. So people like us can finally watch it. So give me your first initial impression of the movie.
Well, it was fantastic.
Okay.
It was an absolute masterpiece of a movie. DC has had a very hard time bringing out movies just like this. I love DC. They're a great, industry. They have a lot of good movies, but they've had a hard time with their movies. And it seems to me that Batman is their golden child. Not Superman, not Wonder Woman, not Aquaman. It's Batman. That's their golden child. That's their favorite child. Because how many iterations of Batman is this now?
1, 2, 3. Are we talking about people who played Batman or just like universes in a way?
Pretty much every DC version of Batman that's been out, animated and unanimated, and live action, yeah. But it's always Batman, and it's always his either growth story, origin story, or they go the long game and they talk about how he's been doing this for a long time, how he's already gotten people in prison, and how he's just trying to figure out who he is as a hero for the city. Is he vengeance? Is he hope? And this movie really does do a good job in talking about that point. But I just feel it's like this is their favorite kid in a way. This is their favorite
child.
Yeah. He has more movies than any of them.
Aspect, yeah.
But they did a great job. I'm not gonna lie. This movie was very surprising and it had a lot of great actors. It had, a really great story. I like what they did with this story. It's not like super high tech. He's not this, battling aliens and gods and fighting Superman over, a building that got destroyed. No, he's a detective and he is trying to solve mysteries and solve crimes. And he's just a brutal fighter. And it's a dark themed movie. And I really like it because Batman is dark. He's a dark, brooding character. He doesn't talk the whole time. He's not suave and he doesn't have this charming, charismatic, attitude where he can, charm his way out of every problem. I mean, yes, he is in Bruce Wayne form, but this Batman just really took it to another level. He really set the standard for Batman.
Right.
Which I think we haven't seen in a while. I know everyone out there, there's The Dark Knight Rises, there's a bunch of other iterations of Batman. But I think this is right here what we're looking for when we talk about Batman. A detective, a crime fighter, and someone who is using his elements around him, realistic items. Like his, what was it, like a Mustang, his car?
That was sweet. Yeah.
That was an amazing ride.
That Batmobile was freaking awesome. Yeah.
And it was it looked handmade. It didn't look like he bought it at some like high-tech super lab. Like a lot of the other iterations of Batman. I mean, they're cool, but this looked more grounded in earth and realistic.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I really liked it. What about you? What do you think of this movie?
I think it was everything you said, and
so much more.
so much more. No, for me, okay, I look at it this way: it was a fantastic film noir detective movie that was disguising itself as a comic book movie. Take away the Batman suit, take away that costume, put just a regular, beat up suit as like pretend he was just like a regular private eye or something like that, down in his luck PI guy, and take away all the superhero elements of it, and it's still just a fantastic film. And so that's what I'm looking at. First off, was Matt Reeves, the director, created this world that had all the grit that we're looking for in this type of movie, had the character build up from Bruce Wayne, Batman. But this is why I laughed when we said the Batman, because he never called himself Batman. He was never called Batman. He was always, the guy who dressed like a bat. So he's the Batman. That's why it was called the Batman. So I thought that was really cool. And just like they did with Selena Kyle and Catwoman, they inferred it with, you have a lot of cats. You like cats. Oh, look, the bat and the cat. But they never called her Catwoman, which I thought was cool. The only one they really specified by name was Penguin. And they had to do that for the story to move along with the Riddler and his joke. Did they ever call the Riddler the Riddler?
I think his page that they show towards the end when they're finally discovering what he's doing and all that, and he has this like fan page.
Yeah.
I think on there is like the Riddler, or it has like some homage to his name.
Okay.
But I never think it's explicit that he's called the Riddler.
Right, which I think is fantastic. Even if they did call him the Riddler, it would be fine because he's a villain and say like a serial killer that's haunting or terrorizing a city in like a regular detective film or something like that. So I thought that was great. I thought it was perfect. I thought that was awesome. I thought the 3-hour runtime didn't feel like 3 hours, and it needed that time to tell the whole story. If they had tried to trim it down, edit down to under to 2.5, I think we would have lost some of the character buildup. So I'm glad they decided to leave it at that long runtime. And it was just great. I really enjoyed it. I like the music they put in there, something in the way. I thought that was cool. I will say this though. As much as I enjoyed Robert Pattinson when he donned the helmet and the cape, him as Bruce Wayne, the angsty, kind of young adult guy, it was a little left on the table, I think, for me. I think, I don't know. I kind of saw him as like Eric Draven from The Crow. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Crow, because
yes, I've seen The Crow.
It gave me that same kind of vibe, which is fine because The Crow is one of my favorite movies. And the soundtrack to The Crow, don't get me started.
Oh, but
yeah. It gave me that sort of vibes, which was fine. And I don't mind it. Matt Reeves even told Robert Pattinson that Kurt Cobain was his inspiration for the character. So that's where he wanted him to go and live in that mind space and stuff like that. So that's fine. But I don't know, something to me, when he was the Bruce Wayne, it was just a little bit, I wish I could have had a little more. But as Batman, he was great. No complaints. He nailed it all. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone was perfect. Colin Farrell as the Penguin was, he was great. Couldn't even recognize him, and he played that character perfectly. And I think they're getting a spin-off of that character, much like Peacemaker did. I think the Penguin's getting like an origin story on HBO Max as well, which is going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle she was great. She played that role perfectly. And Andy Serkis as Alfred, he was great too. He had that role as like, I know I'm not your father. I wish I could have been more for you. And it just gave that vibes as I care for you like a son, but I know I'm not your father type of thing. And it was great. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everyone.
This movie was amazing. I really feel they did a great job telling an amazing detective movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not a lot of detective movies out there, that really told a detective story
Exactly.
this way. This was
Yeah.
amazing. It had a great soundtrack that played almost cinematically with, you know, every scene that they put on. The fight scenes, the choreography was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love the fact that they didn't hold back for Batman to be, oh, I hold my punches and stuff. No, that he goes for it, and he is vengeance in that regard until the end, when he learns that he doesn't have to be vengeance. He can be so much more. But yeah, those fight scenes, and it's just, that's what it's like, down in the trenches, and that's where he's at. Which is why I like Daredevil as well, because Daredevil gets down to the trenches like that. So this Batman movie was just perfect for that.
Yeah, no, it's no bars held. He is, you know, full on just trying to destroy his opponent when he fights. And I really like that he did show mercy. And even though he was angry, you can see when he's fighting, he's like really good at portraying that this character is angry, he's frustrated. Um, he's trying to, I guess, heal, but in his way. And
Heal by
even through
kicking
all
the
that,
crap out of people.
yeah, in his
This
own
is
way. I'm
my
not trying to say
therapy.
heal heal in his own cynical way, but I really like the growth and the fact that he does show mercy to people who aren't a threat, who aren't trying to hurt him or others. He shows mercy to those people. Even in the opening fight scene, that one kid that didn't want to even be there, he showed mercy to him.
Well,
I
he
mean, he
showed
scared the
mercy to
living
him
daylights out of
because
him.
he kind of tried to stop the guy from shooting him in a way. So he saw that wasn't part of the group completely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. I really like that he's not, you know, mindlessly attacking everybody. He's not, you know, it's just they did a great job. The Batman, the actual Batman was amazing. And the villains were great too. The villains, they did an outstanding job. I mean, it's hard to play a villain where everyone hates the villain, but they love
Oh,
the actor.
Paul Dano as the Riddler was sublime. He was
Yeah.
perfect. He nails those type of roles each time he gets to play them. I don't know, maybe he just looks like a psychopath, but he was perfect as the Riddler. And he's the kind of guy that you just want to like, oh, I want to wring your neck. You're so good. Yeah, he was great.
No, yeah, that I've never seen the Riddler portrayed quite like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the other people have played Riddler, you know, amazing people, amazing actors, but this is the Riddler that I wanted. This is the Riddler I wanted to see in this movie. This is the version of him I wanted to see, and I'm so happy that they picked the perfect actor for it, because it was portrayed perfectly.
Yeah.
Every scene, there was no moments where I was like, he could have done better. No, it was perfect through and through.
Yeah.
So I was really, really just happy with that. That was amazing.
It was really cool. And let's not forget, you mentioned the Batmobile and the Mustang. So right in the middle of this movie, they have like a 10-minute car chase, which was just awesome. That car chase was perfect. And I loved the very end of that car chase where the Penguin thinks he got away with it and he's walking out. And then all of a sudden you see the Batmobile come flying through the fire. And that shot, what's upside down and it's inverted because of where he's at. It's just phenomenal cinematography. It was just spot on, perfect for setting the tone almost for the whole movie. It was just outstanding.
Yeah, no, that shot was absolutely. You see Batman walking up, fire behind him, and Penguin's upside down staring at him, all scared. That was an amazing shot. I mean, they didn't even need to show what happens with Penguin, their interaction, for us to know the Batman got him.
Yeah.
Like, that's how amazing of cinematography that we got to see from that scene. That 10-minute scene alone, that's how powerful it was. It didn't even need an ending to that scene. We already knew what was happening.
I just wanted to keep going because that was such a cool car chase scene.
Oh yeah, that was really
good. But
you
yeah,
could tell they watched Fast and the Furious.
Oh no, come on. This was much better than Fast and the Furious, honestly. It really
Oh
was.
yeah, by a lot. The graphics, the dark theme, the noir. Oh my gosh, amazing.
And let's talk about Lieutenant Gordon real quick. Jeffrey Wright. He was great. He wasn't Commissioner Gordon yet, so he was just Lieutenant Gordon, but he just did a fabulous job in that role. He was the perfect amount of the cop you want to trust. Yet, you know, I don't know, he was just great. So kudos to the whole entire cast.
The cast did amazing. They did a very great job at picking their cast. You can tell they were super meticulous with every character, to the point that they really just got down, and each character, you can tell, just went in full method acting. They were probably doing this at their home. Robert Pattinson,
you know
is
what
the
method
Batman
acting
at home.
Is?
Yes, I know what method acting is. That was a bad example, but I'm just saying, a bad example. But I mean, they went full in, like they owned the characters that they knew who they were going to be, and you know, it was just amazing. The cast did an amazing job.
Yeah,
so.
They did. They really did, and it was a comic book movie, but more before that, it was a great detective film noir style, and because you can hear the main actor's voice talking out loud his thoughts, narrating it, which is like one of the main key points in a film noir story. So it was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to go watch it again. Yeah, it was just great. So kudos to everyone. Gets a generally divided high five. Let us know your guys' thoughts and comments on the movie. Did you like it? Have you watched it? Did you not like it? What part did you like best? Let us know in the comment field. And yeah, we appreciate all you guys' thoughts. Any final thoughts you want to share out there?
Yeah, just leave us comments about what you guys thought, whether you liked it or didn't. And if you guys leave a reason, we like the reason, we'll pin it in the comments so everyone can see it.
Thank you. All right, everyone, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next time.